Hello, I'm Daryl King and welcome to Different Drummers. According to recent statistics, African Americans in Illinois accounted for 58% of AIDS cases among teens, 74% of gonorrhea infections, and 84% of syphilis cases. They also had the third highest rate of all states for teenage pregnancy among African Americans. Today, we're going to learn about a successful program that was created to address these issues. I'm Daryl King and welcome to Different Drummers. Teaches African American boys how to talk to African Americans in Illinois accounted for about 58% of AIDS cases among advocates and its companion program for the gonorrhea infections, the subsequent pregnancy project are housed at Hyde Park. They also had the third highest rate of all states for teenage pregnancy among African Americans. Coordinator of the Peer Advocates for Health learn about a successful program that was created to address these issues. Michael McDowell, the Peer Advocate graduate, now teaches African American boys how to talk to their friends. We also welcome Herschel Spencer, a current peer advocate and a senior advocate at Dunbar companion program for the girls. Our panelists. The subsequent pregnancy projects are housed at Hyde Park Union Church in Chicago. We are so glad to have you, Roger, Michael, and Herschel Shannon. Now, I'm coordinator of the Peer Advocates for Health of this nature, really helping the community. And we also welcome Michael McDowell, a peer advocate graduate of the program, now a student at Western Illinois University. We also welcome Herschel Spencer, a current peer advocate and a senior at Dunbar High School. Let's welcome our panelists.
The question I really feel I should answer is the reason I stayed. The reason I stayed is because I feel
we are so glad to have you, Roger, Michael, and Herschel. Now, I'm sure being working for a program of this nature, really helping the community, I'd like to know firstly from Michael, who is a graduate of the program, why did you join the Peer Advocate Health Program?
Well, relationships and things of that nature. So I feel like that information was essential for me to be able to get the question I really feel I should answer.
That's wonderful. So it helped you move to another level of understanding.
Because I feel
that's wonderful,
like
Michael.
The program
now,
had
Herschel, what made you join the Peer Advocate Program, and has it actually made a difference in your life?
Well, at first it was just for money. They had misconceptions. As I progressed in the program, I actually learned a lot, and it's taught me a lot of different things,
and things of that nature. So I feel like that information was essential for me to be able to, get the next step on life.
That's wonderful. So it helped you move to another level of understanding.
That's
wonderful, Michael. Now, Herschel, what made you join the Peer Advocate Program, and as well as has it actually made a difference in your life? I think that's so important for young people to understand the reality of sexual relationships. Now, what about health issues? Did you all learn a lot about STDs, sexually transmitted diseases like gonorrhea, syphilis, and as you well know, HIV and AIDS is a major problem in the USA as well as in Africa. So learning all of this in your knowledge and power about contraception as well as training with your Peer Advocate Program. I think that's so important for young people to understand the reality of sexual relationships. Now, what about health issues? Did you all learn a lot about STDs, sexually transmitted diseases like gonorrhea, syphilis, and as you well know, HIV and AIDS is a major problem in the USA as well as in Africa. So learning all of this in your knowledge and power, how did you get this through the training with the Peer Advocate Program?
You can use how do we get through the training?
What exactly did training consist of?
Just talking to, like you said, we went through something like that. So numerous amount. I feel like training was very sexual for us to grow as things as far as STDs. And then we went to after we did that, we did the relationships part, and then we did a whole vast amount of life training. It's like I call it life training because you can use we can use this for everyday life. Everything we've ever used, like trying to get a job or just talking to our girlfriend's parents or something like that. So
absolutely.
I feel like, training was very good for us to grow.
Unfortunately, we could not accept all of
and to
it.
become
but
successful.
Out of the 20 young men that did stick with the program that first year, this is the fourth year, they realized that it was a lot of hard work. And we've been very fortunate in the program. They turned out to be excellent peer educators, and have working in the community, work with so many help empower other teams that come through our doors with information. At first, when we opened the program up, to help them to be started with around 30
and as you all know, in the words of Frederick Douglass, without struggle, there is no progress. Now, Mr. Shannon, how do you select the young men to get involved in the Peer Advocate Health Program?
Well, actually, it's a process. They realized that it was a lot of hard work, which we call our senior peer advocates. They turned out to be excellent peer educators in the selection committee, in the community, to help empower others in the area with information, community centers, churches, to help get out and do outreach and get a word about the program.
And as you all know, in the words of Frederick Douglass, without struggle, there is no progress. Now, Mr. Shannon, how do you
program.
select the young men to get involved in the Peer Advocate Health Program?
Well, actually, it's a process selection committee where they active peer advocates, which we call our senior peer advocates. They are part
So
of the
Michael would be a
process
part of
in
that
the
process now,
selection
now that he's a graduate.
Just about
Well, hats
all
off to you,
of the
Michael.
area high
Well, now
schools,
let's welcome into our
community centers
discussion
and
the
churches
teens, the
to get
parents,
out
and
do
the
outreach
staff
and get a word
from
about
the Peer Advocate
out to
Program.
everyone.
Let's
And
give them a
as
hand, panelists.
young men come in and apply for the program.
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. We have such a good-looking audience today.
A selection committee where they decide on who might be a future peer
Let me see. Who wants to answer? So Michael would be a part of that process now.
Yes.
Now that he's a graduate. What have you learned in the Peer Advocate Program? How has it helped you? Well, now let's welcome into our discussion the teens, the parents, and the staff from the Peer Advocate Program. What have you learned in this wonderful program? Let's give them a hand, panelists.
This program, I think the greatest skill I've learned is appreciation for
we have
everything.
such a good-looking
This
audience
program and
now,
its directors is taught us so many things that people take for granted.
Let me see. Who
Just like
all
the issues that we discuss, like they were mentioning,
what
the
have you learned in the Peer
sex
Advocate
issues
Program? How has it
and
helped
friendship
you?
and
Could you
family
stand up,
things that
please?
we take for granted and people think that
And what is
everyone
your
already
name?
knows. Most teens
Hi,
don't know
Pierre.
that.
What have you
And
learned in
they're
this
too
wonderful
embarrassed to
program?
speak up about it, and this program shows us that, you know, it's okay to not know everything. The greatest skill I've learned is appreciation for everything.
Now,
this program
yourself
and its
personally,
directors is taught
how
us
did it touch your life?
so many things that people take for granted.
I was
Just
always
like,
the type
all the issues that we discuss, like they were mentioning
all
the
the time. I never really
sex
liked being
issues
silent.
and friendship and family things that we take for granted.
And,
This program actually everyone already knows. Most teens don't know that. Especially since I know a lot of people like myself have certain questions. This program shows issues. You know, it's okay to not learned about it, and I had facts to back up.
Now,
so
you have knowledge and facts
personally.
and power.
Yes.
How did it touch your life? Empower you. Thank you. Let's give him a hand. Very good.
I was always the type that spoke around all the time. I never really
when you all are
liked
working
being
with other
silent. I didn't feel
teenagers,
it
other
was
young
useless.
people in middle school,
And this
when you
program
go out
actually
and you
gave me
have your
something more
sessions,
meaningful to talk about.
what is
Especially since I know a lot of people like myself had certain questions
of other
and
teens?
issues.
What is one of the most asked questions?
I learned about it, and I had facts to
Could you
back
stand
up.
up? How are you?
So
you have knowledge and facts and power.
My name is Lily.
Hi, Lily. Knowledge will empower you. Thank you. Let's give one of the most asked questions that people ask you when you go out and talk about the program.
Well, it sometimes depends on what topic we're talking about, because sometimes we talk about pregnancy, we talk about birth control, we talk about relationships. So if we're talking about maybe teen pregnancy, sometimes they may ask us how to, like how not to be pregnant, or what type of birth controls they should be using. And with our males, we let them know that they should always use a male latex condom with naloxone 9, even though the female may be using birth control. Well, it sometimes depends on what topic we maybe about domestic violence or rape of that sort of nature. We let them know that they should never try to get in that type of situation to always make sure that they're safe. Sometimes they may ask us how to like how not to be pregnant or what type of birth controls they should be using. And with our males, we let them know that they should always use a male latex condom with naloxone 9, even though the female may be using birth control. And if we're talking maybe about domestic violence or rape of that sort of nature, we let them know that they should never try to get in that type of situation to always make sure that they're safe anywhere they go.
That's wonderful. You guys are doing such a great work for the community.
And now
Thank you,
that
Lily.
I got into the program, I know that
who
you have to wait
who
for
in
that.
this audience had a prior
sex is not a part of a
misconception
relationship.
about sex? Not in the, you have to get to know each other, and you have so many other qualities. None of you guys? Well, that means you're all. Thank you for your honesty. Hi there. Now, what is your another one? Hi, Lily. When you all do your Let's Talk About It sessions, do you get different questions than when you only talk to boys or when you only talk to girls?
And
like,
now
are the
that
girls
I
a
got into
little
the
shy
program,
about
I
asking
know
questions? Are
you
the
have to wait
boys
for
more
that.
shy about asking
Right,
questions?
and sex is not a part of a
Comment on
relationship.
that? Not in the, you have to get to know each other, and you have so many other qualities. Right? Well, thank you for your honesty. Now, here's another one.
When we first begin the Let's Talk About It sessions
when
in the
you
fall,
all do your Let's Talk About It sessions, do you get different questions than when you only talk to boys or when you only talk to girls? Like, are the girls a little shy about asking questions? Are the boys more shy about asking questions?
Human growth and development.
Anybody have a comment on that?
Relationships. Are you ready to date? Are you ready to have sex? And as we progress on and because of the way it's set up, we start, I think, first more the misconceptions come out sessions in the fall from the kids. But the important thing is serious topics. During the Let's Talk About It sessions, we invite geared more towards pre-adolescents, say from 6th to 8th grade. And the topics focus on, say, puberty, human growth and development, relationships, are you ready to date, are you ready to have sex, and as we progress on and the topics become more serious,
I think this is such an outstanding program. But I'd like to talk to some of the ladies from the Illinois Subsequent Pregnancy Project. And what I wanted to ask, put a question to you guys is, what is the most important thing you tell teen girls about getting pregnant or about not getting pregnant?
And what happens many times is we begin to learn,
How are you?
parents
What is
begin
your
to
name?
learn together about a lot of topics and issues
Hi, Mary.
that the
Welcome to
adolescents
the
face
show.
every day.
Thank you. And
Wonderful. I think this is such an outstanding program. But I'd like to talk to some of the ladies from the Illinois Subsequent Pregnancy Project. And what I wanted to ask, put a question to you guys is,
raise a
what is
child,
the most important thing you
because
tell
when you
teen
get pregnant,
girls about
it's
getting
real hard.
pregnant or about
A
not
lot of
getting
things
pregnant?
change. Yeah, it's really difficult.
But through these programs, you learn about solutions to all of your problems. Hi, Mary.
Right.
And that's wonderful. And I'm sure this program has helped you a lot.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Well, thank you.
My
Thank you.
answer is
Now,
that
to the
you need
panel
to
and to
wait
the
for
audience,
the right
do you
person,
think
and then you need
abstinence
to
is
think
so
that it's not
archaic?
easy. It's
Do you
real
think
hard
it's all right to
raise a
promote
child,
abstinence among
because
young
when you
people
get
and
pregnant,
teenagers?
it's real
I
hard.
personally do, but this
A lot
isn't
of
my
things
show.
change.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's really
Michael?
difficult.
Okay.
But through these programs, you
I think
learn about
abstinence is a good thing
solutions to all of
because
your problems,
if you're not
right?
doing it,
Right.
then
And
obviously
that's
you
wonderful,
can't,
and I'm sure this
you know,
program has helped
reap
you a
the
lot.
downfalls
Yeah, it helps a lot.
of the
Well,
act
thank
or
you,
the
thank
activity.
you. Now,
But
to the panel and to the
realistically
audience,
thinking
do you
that,
think
you know, you can promote,
abstinence is
abstinence
so
all you want to,
archaic?
but
Do you
there's going
think
to be
it's all
some
right
people
to
that
promote
try it
abstinence
and, you know,
among
mess
young
up
people
because
and
we
teenagers?
promoting this abstinence.
I personally do,
but
but
however,
this isn't my
if
show.
we leave out
What are your thoughts on
you know,
that?
the things like
Michael?
condom usage, Okay. just in case they might do
I think
it
abstinence
anyway,
is a good thing,
or you know, if you're not doing it, then obviously you can't. We use WIC, like when you downfalls of the act or the activity. Washcloth to realistically thinking, clean. You know, you can promote the areas down there. Abstinence are you know between you and your partner. If they don't know those people that try it, and you know they're going to end up pregnant, promoting they're going to end up behind everyone else. If we leave out, I think it's important to push things like as the forerunner usage, but just in case they might do it anyway, you know, or knowledge, right?
And empowerment.
The different,
and I think that's so important because I believe that abstinence is the key. Any comments from yes, ma'am.
Oh, washcloth to to wipe.
Good. And what is your name?
Clean
Darlene.
Hi, Darlene.
the areas
I don't
down there.
believe
You know,
abstinence
between you
is
and
a
your
method.
partner.
For the
If they don't know
virgins,
those
yes,
different
it
types
sure
of
is.
things,
But for us who
then
seems
they're going to
mom,
end up pregnant.
it's better for
and
us
then
to
they're
get on
gonna
some
end
type
up
of birth
behind
control.
everyone
Abstinence
else.
is not
So
a
I think
method.
it's
It's a
important to
choice
push
that
that
you should
as
you
the
decide
forerunner, but
and wait
also
on what you
follow
want to
behind
do.
it with,
But
you
for
know,
us, no, it's not a good
knowledge,
method for ones who already
And I
have
think
sex.
that's so
Now, if
important
you want to
because I
promote for
believe
someone
that
who is
abstinence is the key.
truly
Any comments
abstinence
from
mean
yes,
no
ma'am.
touching, no
How are you?
clothes off, no bumping and grinding.
Good. And what is your name?
It means
Hi,
just,
darling.
I don't believe
Total
for us,
abstinence.
abstinence
Right.
is a method.
Now,
For the
that
virgins,
leads
yes,
me to
it
the
sure
next
is.
question for
But
you.
for us
Do you
who
feel
sees
that
mom,
because you
it's better for
have
us to get on
been
some type of birth
pregnant and you
control.
have a
Abstinence is
child
not a method.
that
It's
you-
a choice that you should
can
decide
refrain from getting
and
pregnant
wait
a
on what
second
you want to
time,
do.
can't you?
But for us,
Yes.
no, it's not a good method for the ones who
But
already
you
having
see,
sex.
it's up to
Now,
us.
if you want to promote it for
What we
someone
want
who
in
is-
life.
If you truly abstinence,
really don't
mean
care,
you're
no
gonna get
touching,
pregnant, no
as
clothes
soon as
off, no
possible.
bumping and grinding.
Now, what decisions have
It
you made
means
to not get
just
pregnant again? Because
Well,
you're saying it's up to
right.
you. Now, if it's up to you to do it,
to
you've got to do it. For you, do you feel
Yes,
that
I-
because you
I
have
want to finish
been
school
pregnant and you
so
have
that
a child,
I can be
that you
get a good job so I can
you
take care of my
you can
child. Let
refrain
her know
from getting
that
pregnant a
having a
second
baby
time,
is
can't you?
not
Yes.
it's but some people
see,
show
it's
it
up
to
to
be
us.
like it's just so
What we
wonderful
want
and
in
it's
life.
just so calm because
really
most
don't care,
parents,
you're gonna get
but
pregnant
most parents,
as
when
soon
we're
as
teen moms,
possible.
most of our parents
Now, what
do not
decisions
take care
have
of
you
our
made
kids.
to
They do
not
not
get
watch our
pregnant
kids.
again? Because
But they
you're
feel
saying
like
it's up to you.
I have already
So
raised
if it's
mine.
up to you
Now
to
it's
do
time
what you've
for
got to
you
do,
to
now
do.
your responsibility.
Right, it's your responsibility. It's not your mother's. It's not your baby father. Because half of them is out the door. I can be. They get a good job, so I can take care of my child.
Some out there
Let her
that
know
is good, but
that
majority
having a
of
baby
them
is not. It's
They
not
would just
it's-
leave you there with your child.
Some people show it to be like it's just so
but now
wonderful
we
and
can't
it's
say
just
that
so
all are
calm
like that,
because
can we?
most parents is
But you feel
most
that the
parents
majority
when we're
are.
teen
Well,
moms,
I'd
most
like
of
to
our
hear from
parents
some of the
do not
young
take
men in
care
the
of our kids.
program
They do not
that
watch our
may
kids.
agree or
but they
disagree
feel like
with her. Do you
I have
feel that
already
most-
raised mine.
most
Now
young
it's
men,
time
when
for
they
you
get
to
a
do
young
yours.
lady pregnant, are
Right,
just
it's your
out the
responsibility.
door?
It's not your
And
mother's.
if
It's not
that's
your
the
baby
truth,
father. Because half
why
of them
is
is
that
out
so,
the door.
Herschel?
They leave.
Well, I don't
It's
think
some out there that is
do I
good,
think
but
they just
majority
get
of
really
them, they're
scared
not.
about the fact it's
They
not
would
they don't
just
want to
leave you
raise
there
a
with your
child.
child.
They probably
So,
don't know
if
how to
you-
raise a child.
But now we can't say that all are
They don't
like
know
that,
how to
can
raise
we?
a child.
But you feel that the majority are. Well, I'd like to hear from some of the young men in the program that may agree or disagree with her. Do you feel that most young men, when they get a young lady pregnant, are just out the young women about life management skills, about how to handle responsibility?
Well, a big component of the peer advocacy program, really scared about the curriculum was developed they don't want to raise a child,
the subsequent pregnancy program. We looked at the subsequent pregnancy program.
They don't know how to raise a child. And Roger Shannon, that
develop
leads me to my next question with you.
progress
You teach life management
mothers
skills. You teach
towards
handling and coping
self-sufficiency
skills
in
with these
every phase,
programs.
towards
So what
making sure
programs
that
do
they
you teach the
graduate
young
from
men
school
and the young
and
women
making sure they can
about life management
identify
skills, about how
those
to handle
barriers that might
responsibility?
stop them
Yes,
from graduating
a big
from school.
component of the
So
peer
that's why we
advocate
came along with the peer
program.
advocate program. We said we're getting it on the end. We need to get it in the beginning, and we need to
looked at the
teach
subsequent pregnancy
and
program
develop a program
to try
where young
to
men
develop it
can
to
lead
lead
and
from
progress
becoming
adolescent mothers.
So it's more of an
towards
education
self-sufficiency
and
in
slash
every
prevention
phase towards
program
making sure
to
that
help
they
develop the
graduate
skills
from
with these
school
young men
and making sure that
have
they
the
can
skills not to become a
identify
teen daddy.
those barriers that might
Wonderful,
stop them from
because
graduating
that's
from
what
school.
it's all about,
So that's
empowerment
why we
and
came along with
knowledge.
the peer advocate
I'd like to
program.
pose
We
this
said we're
question
getting it on the
to
end.
a young
We need to
lady
get it in
out
the
here.
beginning,
What do
and we
you
need
tell
to teach
a young lady who
and
might come
develop
up
a
to you and
program where
say,
young
oh my
men
gosh,
can
Lily,
stop from becoming
Ileana,
teen
I want to
parents.
get pregnant.
So it's more of an education
What would you say to her?
and slash prevention program to help develop
Okay,
the
Lily,
skills with these young
what would you say
men
to her?
have
I
the
would say
skills
that
not
you
to become a
shouldn't
teen
think that
daddy.
you may want to get pregnant because
wonderful,
you don't really
because
know the
that's what it's all
responsibilities.
about,
You might be
empowerment and
outside
knowledge.
one day
I'd
walking
like to
along
pose
the
this
street and
question
you see
to
this
a
young lady with her
out here.
child, and
What
it
do
looks
you
all nice
tell
and easy,
a
but
young lady
really
who
it's
might come
not.
up to
It's
you
really
and say,
difficult.
oh
And
my
you should
gosh,
think about that
Lily,
before you say, I want to have a
Ileana,
baby,
I want to
because
get
a baby
pregnant.
is not everything you
What
wish.
would you say to her?
A baby's not like a toy doll that you see in the store.
Okay,
A
Lily,
baby is actually
what would you
a
say
baby.
to her?
I would say that you
Very
shouldn't
wise
think
words.
that you
And
may
I
want
think
to
a lot
get
of the,
pregnant because you don't really know
younger
the
females that feel like
responsibilities.
that,
You might be
they
outside one
often,
day
you know,
walking
get a
along
glimpse
the
of the
street and you
glamour
see
and
this
the, you
young
know,
lady
the
with her
joy.
child, and it
Instead,
looks all
you know,
nice
the
and easy,
interaction
but
between the mother
really it's not.
and the
It's really
child,
difficult.
but they don't see the
And you
behind
should
the
think
scenes
about that
of the
before you
3
say,
a.m.
I want to have a
crying
baby,
and
because
stuff
a
like
baby
that. Right.
is not everything
Exactly.
you wish.
The dealing
A
with the
baby's
child
not
when
like
the
a toy
child
doll
is
that you
not
see in the store.
easy to get along with.
A baby is
Another
actually a
part of it
baby.
that's important is I think the
Very wise
adolescent
words.
kids.
And I
they
think a
have
lot of
done
the,
a
you
very
know,
good
the younger
job
females that feel
at
like that,
stating
they
the issues
often, you know,
and
get a glimpse of the
developing
glamour
a
and
way
the, you
to
know, the
communicate
joy
with other adolescents
of seeing, you know,
about some
the
of the
interaction
barriers
between the
and issues
mother
that they might
and the
face.
child, but they don't
Many
see the
times
behind
we
the
learn from
scenes
them.
of the
They
3
tell us
a.m.
what works.
crying and
When
stuff
you
like
feeding,
that.
the
Right.
diaper change.
Exactly.
And get the issues
dealing with
across
the
to
child
other
when the
adolescents.
child is
And
not
our Let's
easy
Talk
to get
About It
along with.
series,
Exactly.
And the
they
other
do
part of it
a
that's
wonderful
important
job
is
in
I think the
regards
adolescents,
to
these
kids. They
role
have done
playing,
a very good
a
job
one-on-one
at
counseling
stating
to
the
get that
issues
message
and
across
developing
to the other
a way to
adolescents
communicate
about
with other
not
adolescents
becoming
about some of the
teen
barriers
parents
and
and
issues that they
also
might
about living
face.
a healthy lifestyle.
Many times we learn
Okay,
from them.
well, Mr.
They
Shannon,
tell us
I think
what
that's
works
wonderful.
when
This
you
program
wanna
is so awesome.
communicate
You guys are so
and get the
blessed to
issues
have this
across to other
in your
adolescents.
lives. But
And
one of the
Let's Talk
questions
About
that's
It
really been
series,
burning my
they
heart
do a wonderful
regarding
job
the
in
show
regards
is
to
why is there such a
kids,
disproportionate number
role-playing,
of African
one-on-one
American teens
counseling to
who
get that
are
message across
victims of
to the other
HIV and
adolescents
AIDS
about
as opposed to other
not
races in
becoming
our society?
teen parents,
I think
and also
one of the
about
major
living a healthy
factors is
lifestyle.
that
Okay,
Many
well,
times,
Mr. Shannon,
some of the
I
programs
think that's
that we
wonderful.
have,
This program is
they
so
don't have the
awesome. You guys
ability
are
or
so
the
blessed to
resources
have
to be
this
able to focus
in your lives.
to
But
get the
one of the
target
questions
group
that's
of
really been burning my
adolescents and the
heart
kids that we need to
regarding the
focus
show
on.
is why
We're
is there
starting
such a
to begin to
disproportionate
develop
number
partnerships
of
in our
African
community where
American
we're working
teens
with some of the
who
area schools, the
are
community
victims of HIV
organizations,
and AIDS
to
as
be
opposed
able
to
to
other races
develop
in our
a
society?
special skill
I think
to
one of
reach
the major
adolescents that
factors
haven't been
is
reached
that
before. Many
we're
times,
starting to reach
some
the
of the programs
adolescents
that we
sixth
have,
grade.
they don't have the ability or the resources to be
Ideally,
able to
we would like to
focus
reach them before
to
that
get the
and
target
and
group
maybe
of adolescents and the kids that
talk
we need to
about
focus
or
on.
develop
We're
programs
starting
that we
to
can
begin
deal
to
with
develop
self-esteem,
partnerships in
we
our
can deal with
community
value
where we're working
clarification,
with some of the area
relationships.
schools, the community
But
organizations.
at sixth grade, I think we do a
to
good
be able to
job in
develop a
regards to
special
being able
skill to
focus
reach the
on some
adolescents
of
that
the
haven't been
resources
reached
that they
before.
need.
That's
We're
outstanding.
starting to reach
Now, how long?
adolescents
Yes, go ahead,
sixth
Michael.
grade.
I think it's important to reach the leaders of the
Ideally,
community,
we would like to
not
reach them before that
necessarily
and maybe
the adults,
maybe
but
talk
but the teen leader.
Right, the go-to guy, like everybody listens to this guy, every girl listens to this girl, like the person that's the leader of the group or the clique, so to speak.
The football star, the basketball star, the lady that's over the student council, the Teen Reach program. That's outstanding. I think that now how long? Yes, go ahead, Michael.
Reach those leaders, it's important to reach the leaders of the community, for lack of better words, they can affect everyone else that's around, but like it spreads like that. Right, the go-to guy, everybody listens to this guy, or every leader listens to this girl, like the person that's more effective, the leader out the group, or as opposed to trying to just go.
The football star, the basketball star, the lady that's over the student council. Is that the teen wage program. I think that's a very good program.
And once you
with the green,
reach those leaders,
your piercing
they can,
eyes and
for lack of
beautiful
better
eyes.
choice of words,
What
they
do
can
you
infect
feel
everyone
as a
else
young
that's
man,
around
as a young
them.
African
And
American
it
man?
spreads like that,
What have you learned,
So
and how has the
if
Peer
it
Advocate
spreads,
Health Program helped
from
you
starting from the leaders,
personally?
then
What has it done for you? Could you
it's a
please
more
stand?
effective tool
How are you?
as
What is your name?
opposed to trying to just go.
Hi, Antonio. How has it helped you?
Right, just at random.
It helped
Okay.
me
Now,
to,
another question
I guess,
is that
develop more
what
leadership
do you
skills,
feel?
being
What do you
that
feel,
as
young
an
man
African
with the
American
green?
male,
I see
we
your
are
eyes, your
looked down
piercing
upon
eyes,
because
and beautiful
we
eyes.
always a part
But what
of
do
a
you
statistic.
feel
So
as a young man,
the
as a
program
young
has taught
African
me
American
how,
man?
you know,
What have you
no
learned,
matter
and how
what your
has the Peer Advocate
background
Health
is or
Program
your surround,
helped
you can
you
always
personally?
achieve, you know,
What
so
has it done
much,
for you?
and
Could you
then
please stand?
not knowing that
How are you?
others
What
behind
is
you
your
are
name?
looking at you as an example.
Hi, Antonio. How has it helped
So
you?
I basically say leadership skills.
Leadership
to,
skills.
I guess, develop
Because
more
you have to
leadership
believe it to
skills,
achieve it, right,
being
Antonio?
that
Well, you
as
are
a
definitely a
African-American
leader.
male, we are
And leaders are
looked
readers.
down upon
All right.
because
What do you have
we
to say?
always a part
And
of
what
a
is your name? How are you?
statistic. So the
I'm doing
program,
fine.
the
My
program
name
has
is
taught
Andre.
me how,
Hi,
you
Andre.
know,
a major
no matter what
leadership,
your background is or your surround, you can always
that I believe
achieve
the program
you know,
has taught
so
us
much,
was
and then
basically
not knowing that others
responsibility.
behind you are looking
Responsibility.
at you
Before
as an example.
sex, you gotta realize
So
that
I
the
basically say
responsibility
leadership
comes
skills.
after the
Leadership skills.
after
Because you have to believe it to achieve it, right, Antonio?
Like taking care
Well, you
of
are
a
definitely a
child, or
leader.
If you
And leaders are
possibly
to provide. All right. What do you have to say? And what is your name? How are you?
I'm doing fine. My name is Andre.
Hi, Andre.
A major leadership, man. I know that it's on you now. So that I believe it's all because it's all a part of becoming a man. Responsibility.
Responsibility.
Before sex,
and you have to be leaders in your community. Now, with all the knowledge you gained from this program, do you take your knowledge and empower some other little boys or little girls that you know in your family, in your community?
Yeah, that's the Peer Advocate Program, and get an STD or something. You gotta be able to take responsibility. We both it's on you now. So at the end of the month, all because it's all a part of becoming a man or a young lady. Presentations, woman.
And you have to be leaders in your community. Now, with all the knowledge you gained from this program, do you take your knowledge and empower some other little boys or little girls that you know in your family, in your community?
So we could tell them, clear up Peer Advocate Program, like different misunderstandings or questions that they have about. We both
about all types of issues.
At the end of the month,
about family issues, being a father, being a mother, keeping your yard clean. I mean, this is sort of just basic questions. How to mow the lawn. I was talking to a guy last week, and he said, "I don't know how to mow the lawn because I've never had to mow a lawn." And you would think that's a simple procedure, but for some people, that's a challenge. Yes, sir, Mr. Antonio.
Questions that they have about.
About all types of issues, about family issues, being a father, being a mother, keeping your yard clean. I mean, this is sort of just basic questions, how to mow the lawn. I was talking to a guy last week, and he said, I don't know how to mow the lawn because I've never had to mow a lawn.
And then I also
you would
did
think
an
that's a simple
internship
procedure,
at
but for
Morehouse
some people,
College,
that's a
where
challenge.
it was
Yes, sir, Mr.
based around
Antonio.
the same thing. So I got the opportunity to meet a lot of other young men who was doing the same thing I was doing back in my state. It's like it's not all about education. Like for myself, I had the opportunity to travel to New Orleans for a health conference, which it was a lot of other young males across the country come together for one cause.
Now, but this is we haven't talked to the parents.
Healthcare for young
parents,
men.
how do you all
and
get involved
I also did
in
an
this program?
internship at Morehouse College, where
it was
based around the same
My name is
thing.
Sherry
So I got
Sims.
the
I'm the
opportunity
peer
to meet
ed
a lot of
coordinator
other young
for the
men who was
girls.
doing the
Peer ed
same thing
coordinator.
I was doing.
Well, how do you get involved and how do you work with these young ladies to empower them?
Well, I take them to the different communities.
That's wonderful.
So that they can speak and share the word.
New Orleans, speak and share the word.
And speak to whatever
now,
issues
but this
there are.
We haven't talked to the parents.
Whatever
but
you want to
parents,
speak
how do you
about,
all get involved in this program? Now, what has been one of the most challenging aspects of your job?
My name is Sherry Sims. I'm the peer
Having
enough for the girls.
Peer ed coordinator. Having enough peer educators. How do you get involved?
Yes, I have many
presentations
to empower them. That are on the books. Well, I take them to different communities.
How would one become a peer educator?
So that they can speak and share the word.
Speak and share the word.
And speak to whatever. And after you had a baby, then you go into whatever you want to advisory program. We usually try to address that. And from the advisory program,
now, what has been one of the most challenging aspects of your job? Okay. This is a wonderful having young lady. We're going to be talking. Yes, sir.
Peer educators.
Thank you. Having enough peer educators.
I feel like
yes, I have many presentations that are on the books.
The show justice.
Okay. So how would one become a peer educator?
The training facilitator, Mrs. Anita Murphy.
You would have to have.
Well, she
had a baby.
She's a wonderful person.
And after you had a baby, then you go into the advisory program.
Makes everything so much easier.
And from the advisory program, you are selected to go into the peer education program.
Because she's a lively person. And
this is a wonderful
basically what
program.
she does
we're going to be talking.
She gives us all our information throughout the training. I feel like we really would help us get ready for the tasks that we have ahead of us. If we didn't mention the training facilitator, kind of like a mother. And well, she's the wonderful person. She is very nice, and then she just she just helps the world and lets you perform. Makes everything so much easier. And I feel like she's an essential because she's a lively person.
Yeah, I might add.
Basically, what she does is she gives us all our information throughout the training.
It's a 7-week program.
It helps us get ready for the tasks that we have ahead of us.
14 hours a week.
Kind of like a mother.
Not for everyone.
That's how I felt about it when I was coming up.
Keep their grades
up. And then she just pushes you out there to the world and lets you perform.
Like they do an excellent job. They work hard to do an excellent job.
She's an essential part of the program.
Fruits of their labor. I might add we start to see the light come on in their eyes, and they begin to realize trainees coming in that it's a 7-week program.
A 7-week
program. They have to train for 14 hours a week.
That's what's important.
And it's rigorous.
I tell you, this has just been wonderful. And now, if you could just sum it up in a nutshell, keep their grades, Michael. That's because you guys are on the panel. What would you say about this program?
They do an excellent job.
That's been the best thing for you.
Well,
this program teaches you a lot.
As they go along, we start to see the light come on in their eyes.
Go out in the community and tell what you learn.
That they are
to empower other people, to give them knowledge and power. What about you, Michael?
I feel like if you're not already there, and if you feel like you want to have the extra
now, if you could just sum it up in a nutshell, Herschel and Michael,
just someone extra just to look at you like, man, he or she is a really great person.
That's been the best thing for you.
Then I feel like
teaches you a lot.
You should go ahead and be a part of the peer educator program.
Go out in the community and tell what you learn.
You get everything that's essential to life.
To empower other people, to give them knowledge and power. What about you, Michael?
I feel like if you're not already there, I feel like it's a very important part of have the extra edge.
Absolutely, getting that cutting edge.
That extra
job or the extra. You all have been very informative. I appreciate it. Thanks to all of our guests for joining us today. And if you have any questions or comments about our program, please write to us at Different Drummers in care of the Greater Chicago Broadcast Ministries, 112 East Chestnut Street, Chicago, 60611. I'm Daryl King, and thanks for watching. And be sure to tune in next week for another outstanding edition of Different Drummers. Absolutely, getting that cutting edge. Well, thank you all. You all have been very informative. I appreciate it. Thanks to all of our guests for joining us today. And if you have any questions or comments about our program, please write to us at Different Drummers in care of the Greater Chicago Broadcast Ministry, 112 East Chestnut Street, Chicago, 60611. I'm Daryl King, and thanks for watching. And be sure to tune in next week for another outstanding edition of Different Drummers.